Welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my first yoga flow that I'm posting on here. I'm sure the lighting is not the best. I'm working with what I have and the space that I have. We'll fix the bumps as we go, but I hope that following along to my voice is more than enough for us to share this beautiful practice with each other together today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start in a nice comfortable position of our choice. I'm going to take a nice meditative seat, but feel free to find whatever feels good in your body. We're going to find a nice comfortable position for our hands. You roll our shoulders down and back our body, finding our spine, sitting up nice and tall. Closing our eyes gently, bringing our awareness inside. Just beginning by tuning into the natural rhythm of your breath. Finding a focus point here, whether that's following every inhale and exhale. Maybe bringing your fingertips to touch. Tuning into that central point of focus, allow it to ground yourself even deeper into this now moment. We'll take a few more rounds of breath. Starting now to elongate that breath just a little bit. Maybe inhaling for a count of 3, slow and deep belly breaths. Maybe exhaling for the same amount of time, maybe a second or 2 more. And slowly but surely, coming back into your body, we'll start to open our eyes, wiggling our fingertips. Find our first collective deep breath in, sweeping our arms up by our sides. We'll take a nice deep breath, inhale through the nose. And we're going to twist our body open over to the right, bringing our heart over towards our right knee, dropping our fingertips in front and behind as we find a very gentle twist. You can keep your chin in line with your chest, or if you're looking for a little more depth, maybe turning your chin over that back right shoulder. One more deep inhale, feel the ribcage expand. Exhale to draw yourself back through center. Just one more time on the opposite side. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Palms come to touch, and we'll twist our heart open to the left this time. Fingertips drop in front and behind. Chin can stay in line with the chest, or if you're looking for that depth, exhaling as you start to look over that back left shoulder. Feeling that breath ballooning in your belly. One more deep inhale in. And exhale, we'll return back to center. Beautiful. From here, we're going to unravel our legs and start to sweep our legs around one way or another, coming into tabletop position. Don't mind the knot in the back of my shirt. This doesn't really fit me that well, and I need to get a better size, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to spread our fingertips nice and wide, bringing our shoulders over our wrists, bringing our knees underneath our hip points. We'll untuck our toes, bringing the tops of our feet onto the mat. And here in our tabletop, we really want to make sure that we're pressing up and out of our shoulders instead of collapsing into them, pressing the earth out and away from our body. Find a few rounds of cat-cow here, inhaling to drop the belly. As we do so, we're actively tilting our pelvis up to the sky, bringing our heart forward as we start to send our gaze forward and up. Exhale as we find this opposite curve. Start to rainbow in the top of the back. Our pelvis tucks in, And our gaze goes between our hands, starts to look between our knees. Maybe you even tuck the chin looking towards your belly button. Inhale again, we open up. Send the heart through, nice deep breath in through the chest. Exhale, opposite curve. And more slow, deep breath. Almost imagining that your spine is like a bendy straw and you're taking turns bending that straw in opposite directions. One more deep exhale. Beautiful. We'll inhale, come back to a nice flat back. Shoulders come back over our wrists, and we'll take a gentle child's pose. Not going too crazy here. We're going to send our hips down and back so that they land onto our heels. Now, if your hips don't land on your heels, you can always place a pillow or a bolster, something comfy, maybe a blanket, back behind your calves to help yourself rest. We'll reach our fingertips forward, opening up underneath our arms, and exhale to melt the heart down. Now, keeping the knees in this pose will help you find a nice sensation, nice stretch in the low back. If you're looking to get a little bit deeper in your hips, you can always bring your knees wide to the wide edges of your mat. And that'll help you get a little bit deeper into a nice hip opener. On your next inhale, we'll press our hips back up, pouring our weight back into our palms. And from here, we're going to tuck our back toes. We're going to send our hips up and back into our upside down V shape, our downward facing dog. Feel free to keep your knees nice and bent here. If you need to adjust your feet a little bit, feel free to do so. But we're going to start to alternate straightening and bending each knee, walking the dog, as they say. Finding a nice little stretch for our calves here. A couple things to think about in our down dog. Imagining that someone's placed a string underneath your hips. They're pulling your hips up to the sky. We also want to think about keeping our head in line with our shoulders and with our arms. Instead of being in a plank position where our shoulders are underneath, our head is over. We really want to drop our head down. In doing so, we also want to bring the top of our belly to the tops of our thighs. If you need a little break, feel free to take it. But here's just a couple things to think about in our down dog. Don't really worry about getting your heels down, but if they do, that's great too. All right, we're starting to go through a few rounds of Surya Namaskar, or sun salutation. We're going to inhale, start to look forward. Exhale to step or hop in between our hands. Inhaling to find a halfway lift, we'll bring our fingertips to the tops of our shins, maybe to the tops of our thighs. So we press our shoulders back, sending the crown of our head forward. Exhaling to fold a little deeper, maybe finding a soft bend in the knees. Inhaling as we root to rise, we press through our feet. Our arms sweep up by our sides as we lift our chest, bringing our pelvis back over our knees. Inhale as our arms sweep up and overhead. We're going to reach for our left wrist with our right fingertips, and then we're going to find a side body stretch, leaning over to the right. Inhale back through center. Reverse the grasp in your hands. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale through center again. This time we're going to bring our elbows nice and wide to our sides, coming into cactus arms, opening our elbows, palms face forward. We take a baby back bend, open your heart to the sky. Exhale as our arms fall forward and out. We hinge at our hips as we drop back into our forward fold. One more time, we'll inhale to halfway lift, fingertips to shins, maybe to the tops of the thighs. Again, nice flat back. Exhale to plant the hands down, stepping the feet back into a plank position, or pressing our heels back away from ourselves. This time our shoulders are definitely in line with our wrists. And then we can just go ahead and lean our weight forward, coming down onto our belly. We'll untuck our toes, coming into cobra. Inhaling to raise the chest up. Exhaling to tuck those toes, sending the hips up and back again, downward facing dog. We'll find a few deep breaths to recuperate ourselves. There's so many moments in our practice where we're incorporating movement into our body. It's very easy to forget our breath awareness. So just dropping back into that. And when you're ready, inhale to look forward. Exhale, plant the hands, plant the feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, extend the crown. Exhale to fold even deeper. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep up by our sides. We grab for that left wrist with our right fingertips, side body stretch to the right. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Baby back bend, open the heart. And exhale, folding forward, hinging at the hips, dropping down once again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into your plank. Finding your strength here, really seeing if you can brace your core. Again, we're pressing the heels back and away from our body. Pressing up and out of our shoulders. And when you're ready, lowering down to the belly. Untuck the toes, finding a cobra, elbows go straight back. And we'll exhale, tuck those toes again. And press into our downward dog. Talking and doing the full flow is something that I've not done before. And I'm learning that finding my breath in my own practice is one thing. Finding my breath and talking while doing the practice is a whole other one. So thank you for being here through the beginning stages of it all. Let's find one more round of our sun salutation. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step between the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold even deeper. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, side body stretch to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend left. Inhale through center. Baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, drop onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. I'm talking to myself that time because I was breathing, but not as much as I normally do. You know, there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve to this. All right, let's go ahead and drop back onto our knees. Let's come back into a nice little tabletop position. We'll untuck our toes. This time bringing those knees nice and wide, and we'll drop back into our child's pose. Bringing those arms forward, palms pressed into the mat. Nice little opening in our armpits here. Just find what feels good. And we'll press back up. Again, pouring our weight into our hands. We'll bring our knees in. And this time, come to lay onto our backs. We'll find one more pose before we close out our practice. Just wanted this first video to be nice and short and sweet and a little fundamental for anyone who may be a beginner. Because I'm a beginner at this too. I'm a beginner at filming myself, doing my yoga practice. So let's all be beginners together. All right, we're gonna bring our soles of our feet into the mat, pointing our knees up to the sky. We'll go ahead and bring our heels in as close as we can towards the back of our body. Arms are gonna come by our sides, palms pressed into the mat, and we're gonna go ahead and find a nice little bridge, nice little release here. On our inhale, we're gonna find our firm foundation, bringing some awareness to the soles of our feet, to our palms, to the top of our back. And on our exhale, we're gonna start to tuck our pelvis up, lifting our hips up to the sky. Really pressing through the tops of our quads here, the tops of our thighs. Finding that stability in the breath. Every inhale, maybe reaching your hips up a little higher. Every exhale, stabilizing right where you are. Find one more deep breath in. And exhale, slowly start to roll through the spine, dropping the hips back down. Go ahead and lay out into our final pose of today, which will be Shavasana. Everybody's favorite pose, our corpse pose, our Shavasana ending pose. We'll break our arms by our sides, our legs laid out nice and long. Full back of the body, connecting to the mat, connecting to the earth. We're in our anatomical shape of rest, restoration. And we'll take these final few moments of our practice to allow the body, the mind, and the spirit to integrate all the beautiful work we've done so far today. May you be at rest. And slowly but surely, whenever you're ready, we'll come back into our bodies. You could always stay here as long as you'd like, but whenever you've decided, we'll start to wiggle our fingertips, wiggle our toes, rotate our wrists and our ankles. We'll take a nice deep breath and a morning stretch, raising our arms up overhead, reaching our fingertips and toes in opposite directions as we find length in the spine. Exhale to bring both of our knees into our chest. And we'll drop over to our left or our right side. Coming into a nice little fetal position. You can use your hands to support your head here. Moving through this transitionary pose, allowing it to mark the ending of one chapter, of one experience, of one life, and the beginning of a new one. When you're ready, we'll press our palms into the mat, into the surface beneath yourself, sitting up into a nice seated position of your choice. And we'll go ahead and close out our practice with one final breath. Inhaling to sweep our arms up overhead, collecting all this beautiful energy we've shared and created together today. Exhaling to draw our hands through heart center. My head bowed and my eyes closed. I send a deep well of gratitude to each and every one of you for showing up for yourself once again today. The breath in me honors and deeply rests with the breath in you all. Namaste.